Hi, this is Nancy Norton, and you're listening to Traumedy, the podcast that helps you take your pain and play with it. I'm a former nurse. I got out of nursing for the same reason a lot of people get into it, to save lives. I heal with humor now. I'm a comedian and a speaker about the power of humor. On Traumedy, we talk about some very sad, scary, and dark subjects sometimes, but we lift them into the light with laughter. Traumedy is not a replacement for trauma therapy, but it may help you get by between sessions. This is peer-to-peer sharing. We learn from each other. I'm learning so much, and I want to thank each and every one of my guests and my listeners who often become guests. I hope this podcast is helping you heal at least half as much as it's helping me. We've suffered enough. Let's have some fun. Welcome to Traumedy. My guest this week is Michael Isaacs, and Michael is a comedian who I met here in Denver, several years ago, but you just moved here from...
I'd moved here from Chattanooga, Tennessee, that's where I went to college and started comedy, and but I didn't grow up there. I grew up outside of Nashville, Tennessee.
You did? Mm-hmm. And where did you learn to mask your accent? You don't seem to have that Tennessee accent.
I don't think it was... it was never an intentional thing. Maybe just growing up on television and stuff like that. But like you can see through like my mother and then my grandmother, like the accent progressively works its way out as you're,
every generation.
As you're, societalized or whatever.
Societalized. Now, see, I can get a little more Southern, and I have to admit, and this is, I'm doing it on purpose. I mean, accents are funny. Mm-hmm. So I can
pull it out.
I totally exploit my Ozark background. Mm-hmm. And when I go back to the Ozarks, for sure, especially if I have a little cocktail, mm-hmm. that twang is right there. And there are certain words that still do not sound like the possessive for their, it's their glass. Mm-hmm. Their
glass.
Their glass. It doesn't sound right to say their glass.
I have some leftover stuff. I say y'all very frequently,
Which I think for now with the inclusive pronouns, that's a really good skill.
It's the one thing the South has been ahead of the times on.
Yeah, youans and y'all.
Yeah, youans, y'all.
Those are the Southern inclusive pronouns.
That's right.
And so you grew up outside of Nashville, went to college in Chattanooga, and clearly something, I'm curious, what I love about your humor is, we were talking about the continuum of silliness. You are way over there on the silly spectrum. So I feel Monty Python energy. I don't know who you do so many sketches inside your stand-up.
For sure. Yeah. Oh, thank you. But I guess the first people I was into was Dimitri Martin when I was 13, 14 was one of the first people that I got into. And then Zach Galifianakis blew my mind, his Live from the Purple Onion thing where I was like, oh, you can do it like that. You know what I mean? Where it's he's doing a character the whole time. He's, and then Mitch Hedberg, of course, discovering Stephen Wright was obviously a big moment for me. And then later, Rory Scovel. I like the absurdists, I guess.
Absurdist, yeah. And the willingness to do such dry satire. And like you were saying in the kitchen earlier, how some people take it at face value and mm-hmm. really think you're angry at them when they don't understand that you are the best children's. I don't know which part of it.
the number one kids comic.
The number one kids comic. Yeah. I love that. I love how you double down, triple down, and just commit. Mm-hmm. It's so fun.
What's wrong, sir? He's like, oh, I don't want to laugh at that joke. That joke's for babies. I want to laugh at a joke for a grown man about briefcases and classic T-birds, Do you know who I am? I'm the number one baby comic in the world, sir. You want to hear my best baby joke? All right, here's my best baby joke. Okay, ready? Hey, guys, what's the deal with airplane food, right? Oh, brrr, open up the hangar, open up for mama. I know it's broccoli, you bitch. Kids eat that shit up, you know what I mean?
Just if they can't get on board in the first minute, I have a hard time.
Oh, no.
If you don't immediately know that I'm doing a bit of a character,
yeah,
I'm not mad to be here. This is what I like to do. Even though I'm scowling, I'm playing a bit of that. And I don't know what the solution to that is, or if it needs to be, you know.
Have you had that experience in general in your life where I was thinking about how it might reflect some of the relationship, as we all do, with society not getting us in general? So is it a way, I wonder if it's like a tool of finding your people? Like, man, that you're doing it on stage is a really compressed thing, but in life, do you talk to people in a way that, you know, if they don't get you, you can just know, like, that's, you know what I mean? That if you do that really dry, satirical.
Well, I'm a social bouncer. Unless I really like know who I'm talking to in like a party, or like if I'm out somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
And we lock in and we're talking about something that we're both like passionate about. I'm very good conversationally that way. That's fine. But like if I'm just kind of in a place where it's a bunch of acquaintances, I'm a social bouncer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I'll go here for a minute and then go over here and then go over here and just kind of excuse myself. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
until you find something interesting.
I like mess ups in comedy, you know what I mean? And then really trying to over justify that mess up and turn it on someone else, turn that embarrassment on someone else. And that's probably just feeling like I wanna encapsulate that. Like if you're in a group of people and you say something and it didn't hit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Make it
and then like overwork to like justify
it, double, and then it's about you.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. And it's like almost like forced empathy or something.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel so awkward. I want you to feel just as awkward, or maybe a little more.
Right.
A little more awkward than I'm feeling right now. And definitely deflect and take the heat off. It's hey, and the fact that if you're willing to do it is,
if it backfires,
yeah,
I feel it. But I also have strong ribs for that, I guess too.
you must,
You know?
you must, because you're taking such a chance every time. Because my blessing and my curse is that I don't know if it's part of growing up codependent, where I totally need people to like me.
Sure.
Which is, I mean. But the thing that I've noticed, and I used to always do this on stage, is I dig at least one hole, and it was fun to watch me crawl out. Like I could find a way out, but I really needed them, like to like me ultimately. But I feel like there's certain comics that are willing, and I think of like, well, you know, there's just a lot of you guys out there that are willing to let people not be comfortable and will embrace the awkward. And also, like you said, if they don't buy in, that's a long set.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're up there for 30, 40 minutes, you know. And you just kind of eat it. I don't know. But also, bombing's not that bad. Like ultimately, there's nothing to really truly be embarrassed about, except for to the person that possibly, like maybe the producer of the show, there's a little bit of embarrassment there. They trusted you to, you know, do the show. Or if it's a big stakes opportunity, of course, if you don't do well, then you can internalize that. But if it's just some crowd, you know, it's just like, you're not for me.
Have you had that experience where after that, like let's say the main crowd did not get it, then do you have a couple of people come up to you and just say, I love that so much? Like
Definitely,
they saw what you were doing and they celebrate you, and it was just for that one person.
Right. And I do want to, like, now obviously I'd love for every single person in a crowd to be loving me and you know, that sound, and that obviously we feed off that, right? Of course. But there is also something that makes people more passionate about you or feel like you have another level of connection, when like it's always nice when there's like one table not on board.
Yeah, that's
because then everybody else kind of is like, oh, this is an inside joke between all of us, you know. Hopefully it is just one table, or a couple of people.
That's the ratio.
Instead of half, or instead of like one table liking you. But that inside joke quality does like bond or something like that. Oh, they don't get us, and it's like, you know, acting like they're involved in what you do too. I don't know.
That's great to leverage that contrast. Right. Yeah, I love that. I think about people on the path to fame versus entertainers. I feel like I'm an entertainer, but there's nothing super, like I don't feel like there's something like, in fact, I'm sure of it because I know I'm different. Every crowd, what does this crowd need? What are they? And I have like 35 years of experience where I'm pulling and there's forks in the road that I'm like testing that and then I'm going this way. So I'm giving them what they want.
Right.
Then there are people like you. And I think of Tig because Tig used to open for me back in the day. And the first time I saw her, she got fired from a strip mall.
Wow.
And I was like, I mean, this is how we bonded because they did not get her at the Westminster Strip Mall at Wits End.
Yeah.
You know, and they had her as the host, which I want to say that too. I've been wanting to say that at comedy. We're here in Denver, but there's people hear us everywhere. But sometimes they have people doing host jobs. I'm like, why are you making Noah Reynolds be the host? I just feel like that's not fair to him and his personality and who he is. Like that's the way Comedy Works does it. You have to host, but not everybody should host. But anyway, I don't know why I'm picking Noah.
I struggle at hosting too. I'm definitely, trying to get better, but I feel like I'm doing another version of my act than what I would rather do. And yes, in some ways I'm getting better by doing that. Because I have to it
makes you more versatile, but should everybody host?
I don't think so.
I don't either. Yeah. But anyway, what I was going to say, so Tig bombed, but there were a couple of people I watched these people that were so drawn to her. And I was just like, oh my God, you have something that, I mean, you have more stage presence and the same with you. I feel like you have that I always call it embrace the awkward. There's no other way.
Sure. Yeah,
it's a succinct way I say it.
Yeah. I like to chew on a atmosphere of, Yeah. That kind of like, is everything okay? And then regain their confidence.
Yeah. But know that you're okay. And know, but this is like, you're being so true to yourself. You're being so true to what makes you laugh. So that's what she's doing. And that to me, what I've read somewhere that if 10% of the people like you, that is like this path to whatever that is, where you have a loyal, dedicated following that like what you do. Like if we follow you on Instagram, but by the way, what is your Instagram?
It's just Michael Isaacs and then underscore. But if you search Michael Isaacs, you'll get it.
It ends with an underscore? See, right there is awkward. What the? Who ends it with? I
had a different name, and then I was just like, I have to explain this too much. I'm just gonna do my name.
I know. I let me just tell you, as somebody of this generation, I'm actually a boomer. Which my soul is so much younger, but I am a boomer. But why? And we had CB handles, back in the 70s, and this reminds me of CB handles on the stupid
CB handles.
This is how I love how cute and young you are. CB radio back in the day, before cell phones, you had to have this. And when you went on truckers, you went on the road, you had CB radio.
Okay.
And then channel 18 was the truckers channel. You could listen in. They'd tell you where the cops are, tell you about the weather, look over your shoulders, fog, watch out. This is mud flap. Yeah, this is mud flap. And this is like how unfunny I was because my handle was Funny Girl.
Funny Girl.
I'm sorry.
Like
Funny Girl.
There's two types of comics. The ones that say, have the title, blank is funny and blank is not funny. Those are the two.
Yeah, I know.
There's nothing wrong with them.
It's just, I'm a little more direct. My brother was the outhouse mouse. I remember that. My dad's handle was happy hour. Nice. He's not an alcoholic. Your dad is not an alcoholic. His handle was happy hour, whatever. And so
he had a handle.
Oh yeah, you had on his. Yeah, he did buy bourbon by the what is the half gallon?
The handle
that had a handle.
Yeah.
He just buys bourbon by the case because it's economical. Anyway, point is, this reminds me of the CB handles. Like, who the fuck is Outhouse Mouse? I hate that about Instagram. Trying to figure out, or like if you're, there's this social media thing. We have to do it. And when you do a show and I see the poster and we got to tag all the other comics on the poster.
Right. And you're going to be like, what are they called again?
I can't figure out. Yeah. Or people that send me messages and then I have to do some investigative.
Right.
Thank you for doing Michael Isaacs _. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
but it has made it simple.
Because you can say understated.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if we go to your reels, you're gonna see Michael Isaacs doing like all kinds of kind of sketches. You do a lot of acting too.
Yeah.
Sketch comedy.
Sketch group, and I like sketches and I like songs too.
Oh yeah. And so what I was saying there, as you get, and I really see this for you, where you get that loyal following that likes what you do.
Right.
That is
right.
so cool.
It's a different, like, I will say that hopefully one day I'll get to the point where like only fans of me come to see me.
Wouldn't that be something dreamy? Where you can take stuff to the 12th tag.
Right.
But then again, I think what's fun too, and I mean, even I've heard Seinfeld say this, like he misses the day where he can walk into a room of people who have no idea what he's about to present.
Right.
And I mean, that's kind
I
of.
wish he'd take advantage of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was funny in Seinfeld's last special. He's like, all right. So halfway point of the special, right? Yeah. He's like, all right, now you've seen how I see the outside world. Now I'm going to take you inside my little square, my inner house. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, cool. This will be something interesting that I haven't seen from him, that he will, reveal something about himself, get a little personal,
vulnerable,
something like that, get vulnerable. And then no, he just literally talked about like the most generic, nameless, faceless jokes about fatherhood and parent, like, and marriage, right?
Yeah.
You know? Where it's like he didn't reveal anything about himself.
It was just a closer look at observation. What are you revealing? This is where we could get back into your like inner, the intersection between your comedy and what is going on when you're bringing someone on stage. What is happening for you in that moment when you're making someone into a centaur?
The centaur bit, yeah.
Is there anything, and you don't have to reveal it, but I mean, is there anything behind that you know of? Like, again, this is Traumedy. We're trying to like take the inside out, maybe deconstruct a bit, or just reveal, or is it just pure silly for silly's sake?
I don't know, in terms of origins or something like that. I mean, I can tell you how the joke was made, but like I don't know. I think I just thought it was like super silly. I don't know.
Just see how far you could go.
See how far I could go. And yeah, maybe you could, like, I have felt like a bully when I've done that. And that's never my intention. If I choose the wrong person, and if like I'm literally like bullying someone to get onto the ground. Literally always a male, you know what I mean? Because that would not be cool if that was, not the case. But I have felt like a bully, and I have been embarrassed doing that. It's a risk every time, I guess, you know what I mean? But like in terms of success rate of it happening, surprisingly high. Not in terms of how good it is, just in terms of like it actually happening. Yeah, really
being able to dominate a person, to get on their knees and act like the front of a centaur.
I want someone to be active and involved and enthusiastic to do it. But I have felt like a bully before, and I have had people complain afterwards.
Yeah, will you help me out? Will you come up here? Give us some encouragement. Yes. All right, now listen, all I need from you is if you can get on all fours right here. It's not weird. It's not weird. All fours right there. It's not weird, I swear. Give us some encouragement. Yes. Let me get the position here. Guys, imagine I'm a fucking centaur right now, right? Do you see this? Wouldn't that be dope, right? Because I got the mobility of a boxer here, right? I'm throwing punches, I'm bobbing, I'm breathing, very quick, very agile, right? Then I got another set of legs, stronger legs. Kick him out, Henderson. Kick him out. Yes! Yes! Wow, that's incredible, right? And then I can like rear up. Just like rear up. Just like rear up. Just like rear up. You just the same time as me. Rear up. At the same time as me. Ready? Just rear up. Come back down to a kick punch combo. Very strong, right? One more time so they can see. Ready? Rear up. Kick punch.
I was at one show and I asked someone to do it, and I don't tell them what I'm going to do. I just say, would you like to help me out for a joke? I choose someone specifically that's hopefully enjoying the show. You know?
Yeah, and they know you by now. They should, because you've already, this is at the end, typically, right?
Typically it's at the end. And I had someone come on the stage, and then from the back of the room, someone goes, "Don't do it." And I was like, what are you talking about? No, come on. And she's like, "My sister's boyfriend did it, and they broke up."
Oh. Oh,
And I was
wow.
like, okay, surely there's other underlying problems.
If this was the catalyst,
Yeah.
there
for sure.
must have been some groundwork
Yeah.
for breakup.
Just someone needed an excuse or whatever. But I mean, that made me obviously feel terrible. It's funny too, but like,
Did it make you feel terrible?
and I was like, don't listen to them.
So you're going back and forth.
Yeah.
Don't listen to them.
Don't listen to them. Just get on all fours. Right?
What could go right?
Yeah. For sure. So, I mean, I don't want that to be, like
Yeah.
my intention.
Yeah. That
but-
you cause someone to feel so traumatized or humiliated. But what if it is somebody super narcissistic asshole who has to dominate all the time, and then it broke his spell? Like maybe he's a sociopath. Maybe you saved a woman. This is how I'm
Sure.
reframing this.
That's
because
right.
who would break up after this but somebody who cannot take a joke? Like
Exactly
do
right.
you want to be with someone who can't take a joke?
Right.
You might be saving.
Or do you want to, do you want to be with someone who thinks that you letting your guard down for a second, weakens you in their eyes or something like that?
Yeah,
if it
on
was
the reverse.
girlfriend
Right,
that,
like she needs to be with the stud in the
Right.
room and that he got dominated by a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it could be in both directions. Oh, I like this.
I will say
I
I have actually done it in a bit of spite before.
You saw an asshole in the audience?
Yeah, well, I
them?
was doing an improv and a stand-up show combination, and this improv team was outside, and they were complaining about this guy who wouldn't shut up in the audience, and I was like, "Do you want me to embarrass him?"
Now, took your power. Yeah.
But then he was like massive. He was probably 250 pounds of muscle, right? And and so I pull him up on stage. I get next to him, and then he starts like grabbing my legs. So like if anyone's just listening, someone's on all fours.
Right, we have no video.
Someone's on all fours. I stand next to their head to give the audience a 2D perspective that I look like a centaur with their body as the horse and my body as the torso, right? And head.
Yeah.
And he starts grabbing my leg to put my leg over his head, which is something I'd always wanted to do, but I feel like that's invasive. So I'm never going to do that. But he invited it, so he put it
over his shoulder.
Over his shoulder so that I'm straddling his neck.
Oh,
right?
like a piggyback
He
thing.
did it.
Okay,
So.
he did it. He did it.
And then he stands up. So I'm on his shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm 6'1", 6'2". He's 6'2", 6'3". So
You're
I'm
12
I'm
feet
like 12
in the air.
feet. And I think I'm just gonna like bust my head, just fall and just
Oh.
But he had me. It was like a baby bird in his arms. I don't know if he was an ex like gymnast or something, but he knew how to handle a
strapping man on his shoulders.
Yeah, exactly. He's like going to one shoulder. He's putting me back on, And I was like, okay. And I didn't film that night. I should have.
Dang, it's always that night that we don't have the cameras rolling. But we have it here, and it keeps it special. I don't know about you, but sometimes I've gone back and looked at, and I was talking with Stephen Gillespie last week about the Dose Show. I had the most magical, and a friend that was there was videoing it. I didn't know. I have not had the courage to go back and look at it because it was so magical. I kind of don't want to ruin it. I don't know about you, but every once in a while I'll have something that it's so magical in the moment, but it doesn't translate to video as well.
Sure.
So maybe it's best left in the mind's eye and in the heart and soul. But hey, this guy actually had you, and it worked out somehow.
Right.
And what?
And then he was like, "You owe me a beer." So I got manhandled by this. I thought I was going to bully him.
Yeah, yeah.
Instead, he tossed me in the air.
Man, that's the story of my life. Can I just tell you right now? Anytime I've tried to bully the bullies,
Yeah.
it
Trying to
doesn't.
be cool in front of this improv guy. Want me to take care of him? Don't worry about it.
Cut to.
Cut to.
You guys are dating.
Yeah, for sure.
You're like on the circuit now, playing that game of chicken in the pool. Like it becomes your thing, where we're like, I don't know. I was going
will
with
say
there's a whole tour of that, like where you go,
Yeah, for sure.
neighborhood pools.
Yeah, just put a trench coat around us, and I'm the world's tallest comedian. You were talking about the Dose Show. I will say the one like mushroom show that I've done is it really emphasizes, even though I have listened to the audio, I did record the audio, and there's no reason for laughter. Like, what I'm saying is not, like, good or funny or anything, but like it does reinforce that so much of comedy is just like, what energy are you putting out?
That's it.
You can just feel like the goofiness, silliness,
That's it.
And yeah, sometimes it's just like literally just readjusting your body language that can change everything.
The body language, but also, which I am very spiritual, like I am really playing with energy. And I started studying this, just watching crowds. And I used to be, I used to be a little bit of a comedy snob about content. And I was so annoyed when these hacky comics were getting all this laughter, and I felt like my quirky thing I had worked on all day down to the syllable was falling flat. And it was just so upsetting. And then I don't know what, I just started seeing something, and I started seeing the energy, and it actually become less content dependent and more energetic, and, like really consciously throwing it. And not just that, but like, like trying to connect with their muses. I'm doing this weird spiritual thing these days.
Right,
like I'm rarely, I gotta be honest, rarely the funniest person in the room ever. So I just happen to have these like funny little, I think it's our willingness to be so silly.
Right.
And I think it's our willingness to just like, oh, I'm going to take that little idea that just came to me and act on it immediately. I think the proximity of that and somehow breaking down that shame and doubt, which, helps, like, okay, I'm not going to worry about what's socially correct. Breaking those social rules is also funny.
Yeah, you are stirring up an atmosphere, whether it's an energy or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
It is almost more akin to, like, obviously you can have nice, tightly written jokes that are intellectually stimulating and they work on a mathematical level, but at the end of the day, the most effective performers are doing some sort of sorcery that's like sublingual. You know what I mean? Like
yes, on the subconscious.
Yeah,
in the quantum physics realm somewhere.
Quantum physics realm.
I love that. Yeah, and I love that Doe show. I want to live there. I was like, I want to live here. I just want to do this. Well, I'm gonna take a deep breath and ask you to do the same, only because I want us to breathe in. This is one reason I do not video this, because I like that if we can get into our bodies around this a bit. I'm just curious, again, like maybe you don't know and maybe it doesn't matter, or maybe you don't want to say, but is there any trauma that you're aware of that you are taking care of yourself with comedy, that you have, that you just see that comedy has helped you cope with whatever it is? It could just be stress. It could be, I don't know if there is anything that you have recognized in your life that, oh my God, if I didn't have comedy, I don't know how I would cope with this thing.
Because as you kind of know, like my jokes aren't particularly personal. You know what I mean? Like I can draw, connections to real things that happen and then do it.
Right.
But I almost look at what I do in like the music of it or something like that. It's like the way it sounds, the words and stuff like that is like a element of the words I choose.
Like, I feel like you got more of like a pure comedic consciousness for comedy's sake alone. But then there's a little curiosity I have because of that amount of distance between you and your comedy, where I'm like, ooh, I wonder if, I just was curious. I was just like, has Michael ever felt like the front of a centaur where, you know what I mean? Where somebody like, I think even just being in our society and forced to, sit at a desk 8 hours a day as a kid in school with ADHD and highly creative minds,
right?
That alone is a thing. Like Steve Gillespie just played his bit about being, put on meds in school. It was like, something's wrong with him. He doesn't want to sit at his desk for 8 hours at a time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
I mean, I did have, I guess I am thinking about like how particularly my brain works. Most of my jokes are very short and they have a bit of a world inside themselves, right? But on this like short thing.
Yeah.
Like, so like it's maybe a minute, 2 minutes long. I'm polyamorous. I like to be locked in a cage and have sex for crackers. I might bite your finger. And if I did, my girlfriend would be fine with it. It builds taller, but not out. So I don't do many like long things. And I will say that there's probably some link to that with, like I have a degree of obsessive compulsion, but it was manifested earlier when I was a kid as a tic disorder. Now I don't necessarily have tics anymore, I don't, unless really tired, really stressed or something like that, right? But it's more like an obsessive thought loop that I would have as a kid, right? Just like all the time.
It's OCD
so like
or something.
Doctors were trying to, wrangle it in the mid 2000s or whatever, but I was definitely one of those experimental ADD, like medicated kids. I was on stuff for the tic disorder, for like OCD stuff, and all that stuff. They changed the prescription I needed to get for ADD to this one that they didn't think would stimulate my nervous system, like an amphetamine would, right? So they did more of a depressant, right?
Okay, yeah.
To my nervous system to balance things out, which made it like super lethargic and, like didn't want to do anything, gained weight, everything like that. But so I do think that through comedy, I have been able to think really hard about one thing in a way that I think is or usefully,
yes,
like that is what's the word?
Purposeful.
Productive.
Yeah, productive,
Yeah, that is
purposeful,
productive.
and
So
creative.
curbing your neurosis or curbing your, the things that maybe affect you in other ways in a good way.
Yeah, the other side of the coin.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember asking my son's psychologist who tested him for ADHD and said he's highly impacted by it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, what's the other side of that coin? Obviously, the teachers are really frustrated. They're the ones that made me, they're like, please, my husband so benefits from that. They were telling me all these personal anecdotes about how their medicated husband or the teacher themselves. I'm like, okay, I'll take him. But I said, what's the other side of that coin? He said, highly creative. And he is highly creative. You have that same thing, I guess. You do a lot of music. And so it's not like even curbing it. It's like enjoying it.
Right,
enjoying
exactly.
your gift.
Yeah.
Because if we look at it as the gift that it is, it's really finding that outlet. That's what we're talking about here.
I have the problem that I will just fixate on something and I can't get it out of my brain. And I've come to recognize that about myself now, and I guess it's fine. You know what I mean? But like now I have coping mechanisms, but I will hear something and then I'll just like somewhere, I'll be even thinking about other things, but it'll just continually just be like a loop in my mind, whether that's the name of something or whether I made up a song when I turned on a street. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you saw the name of the street.
Which maybe sounds whimsical, but in the experience of it, it's just like I might have even laughed to myself when I made up a song about Timberland Drive. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Timberland Drive or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
and then it stays.
And it just stays and it just loops in my head and it loops in my head and it loops in my head. And then about 30 minutes, an hour later, I'm like, what? I don't even realize it's still in my head, but it's just been there. The
whole time.
Until I
almost like
recognize it again.
tinnitus, like I have a ringing in my ear.
Yeah.
But that song has been in the background.
Yeah.
In your ear, like the whole time.
Right.
And I was thinking about Maria Bamford, but Maria Bamford is one of my comedian go-tos that because she's so transparent with her mental illness, and I think she says it's a form of OCD, that she has unwanted thoughts. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if that's under that category. Not that we need to categorize it or diagnose it.
That's what they were kind of calling it when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Now I have more of the language to actually like know what's kind of like going on, And now I'm not as like, I guess, worried about it because I have an outlet. And the thing is, when it comes to like writing stand up, I think I initially responded so well to stand up, not only because I was like such a fan of it as a kid, but when it came to writing stand up, is I could think really hard about a thing and then let it out, and then people they responded like well to it, not initially always, but like if I got a little bit of like, no, you're heard, and the time that you took to think about the thing is appreciated.
Is appreciated and celebrated.
Right.
Ooh, I just had this idea that it wants to be expressed, and it's going to stay in there until it's expressed.
Now, a lot of it's useless, but if I can recognize and divide, categorize.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
so like this is something worth thinking about. This is you know.
Right. Timberland Drive. Does Timberland Drive need an outlet?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Or is there a song that's like, hey, we've got a song and we really want it to come to the earth? I'm thinking in spiritual terms, like these muses, these like, let's say you have these imagine, join me in my world,
right,
where I imagine muses and spirit guides
are speaking to you
and saying, hey, here's my philosophy. Let me just share it with you. I feel like we came to earth to expand consciousness, and I don't understand what that means and why, because it's like, if it's infinite, what do you compare it to? I don't know. But expanding consciousness is the whole thing we're doing here. And so they're like, this song, Timberland Drive, believe it or not, has a frequency that will expand the consciousness. Please express it. Tell it to the next person you see. Right. Timberland Drive, and they go, oh my God, I was just okay, here we go. So you say Timberland Drive.
That sounds like more like I'm a virus.
Ooh, maybe we are.
Yeah. But hopefully I can get something that sticks in someone's head. Like the best kind of jokes are the kind of jokes that you are just out in your normal day and you just hear the joke about melons that someone has. And the most beautiful moments in comedy I've had is when like I've had like a couple come up to me and be like, we say this to each other all the time.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, so I've like ingratiated myself into their life, like they're using it.
Like running jokes that help people dissipate either tension or bring them together, bonding them. This is about therapeutic humor too. It's so funny you say that, because I'm going to give myself a little shout out. And again, I think I've mentioned Tig too much on this. I think I don't know. But the point is, I mean, I really have been watching the arc of her path and the fact that she's able to honor her muses so much. But one of my bits that I haven't done in a long time, because I feel a little ashamed of it, but it's about my grandmother went blind and then she went senile, so she could not remember that she was blind, which is a blessing and a curse. Yep. So every morning she was like, I can't see, like a rooster at our house, like, I can't see. And I would tell her, Grandma, you're blind. You went blind 13 years ago. And she's like, oh, Nancy, I just can't see today, which I think is a blessing. But I can't see became a running joke in Tig's family. Like, I can't. That's great. Yeah. I can't see. But that's
the highest compliment. I don't know. That I love that someone can ingratiate it into their life. And also like, there's something about living beyond yourself, you know what I'm saying? Is just like, if my jokes are in people's heads, whether if I die tomorrow, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or what about the experience of the oneness? Because they say the mirror neurons, when we get a joke together, that says, I am you and you are me. Like at that moment, we are in union.
Right.
So I do feel like it is that, like, okay, that we are not alone. I don't know. Again, what I want from this podcast, this peer-to-peer sharing, here's some shit I've had to deal with. Here's some ways I've dealt with it. And then specifically for this one, this is how comedy has helped me. But it doesn't just have to be comedy. It's music. It can be muses. It can be any. I just feel like expressing, honestly, and just letting people know, because we're so many times we're in the closet or we're masking stuff like this. I just love that you're willing, and thank you for being willing to share that struggle with unwanted thoughts.
I mean, if you want like more, if I'm thinking about it now, is like when I think I shut down a little bit socially, even though I was very, very, talkative, chatty, as a young child, I think when I started going to see like neurologists for this thing, for obsessive thoughts, unwanted thoughts, and then at the time of puberty, them manifesting as tics, as a tic disorder, like stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Just a little sound or a little movement?
Sound or a little movement, or trying to, but I don't know what it's like to have actual Tourette's. So I don't know if this experience is the same. But it's not an involuntary thing. It's my brain going, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. You know what I mean? Clench your throat, clench your throat, clench your throat.
And somehow it'll make you feel better.
Yeah, you do the thing, you get the thing, but the thing is nothing. You know what I mean? Like you do the thing and you get the feedback of, I did it, but the thing is nothing and it doesn't help with anything or anything like that.
But you feel compelled. And
when it became like a vocal thing, then that actually started causing quite a bit of like embarrassment, you know, like I had a, you know, young cute girl in my class would be like, shh, and I was like, I can't help it. And she was very apologetic and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But just like those moments I do remember of like being like, why? Just shut up. You know what I mean? Shut up
like not being able to control it, like feeling out of control. Yeah.
And so I think a lot of that dispersed as I kind of learned to kind of cope with it. And also I think just, you know, the excitedness of like pubescent, you know, hormones and stuff like that. And that I think was urging on a lot of the more active tics. I do think that making small things that I can control, you know, little jokes, right?
Right.
And building them up instead of out is a manageable thing that if I put it out into the world, if I say it out loud, then it's a good thing, and it's not like it was like a, you know what I mean?
A problem.
It's
the and I do those two sides of those coins are always like that, aren't they? It's like the problem and the gift, and then learning how to channel the gift. And I see that, like I'm thinking, like now it makes I'm getting a little connection there with the absurdist, like some of those unwanted thoughts, like the idea of bringing someone on stage to be a human centaur in front of you. You know what I mean? Like the idea that you're doing it and people are celebrating it. Yeah. Like I need to do this every show. There's a part of me that must manifest this. And you do. You know what I mean? Like I'm starting to see that now. Now I get it a little better. That helps me understand those absurdist thoughts need to be brought into a 3D. Like I love this theater of the mind thing too, but you also do it physically. And I feel like you dance with these muses way up high in the sky that are, I don't know, high, which I really mean high frequency. That I feel like I said, I feel like it's pure. It's almost like pure music, pure muses.
Okay. Yeah.
That are like, hey, okay, all this shit's going on Earth, but look over here. Look over here. And I just feel goosebumps everywhere right now. Like you just have all these muses. Do you feel it?
Yeah, I mean,
I feel goosebumps. Sure. I feel the truth chills. Like you just dance with these high frequency muses, like a very evolved soul or something that's not tethered. Like I'm still tethered to a lot of my trauma, you know, where you're like, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I like to be grounded. I think I'm grounded. I think I'm like, you know.
What grounds you? Yeah. What is your, like, do you have a routine that's like, okay, I'm really grounded in this way?
Well, it's a boring answer, but reading a lot. I mean, I read sometimes too much it's like a bad use of my time. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like.
Is it really though? Like it grounds you.
But like getting out of my head into someone else's thoughts, right? Is kind of the only way I've been able to kind of like silence my constant loop of thoughts.
Okay.
Which is funny because I've always been told that I'm very kind of, I seem a little bit, not in a negative way, like people are usually complimenting it, unaffected. Like if someone gives me like some, you know, like real bad news, I have access to the emotions. If it's like bad news, like I'll cry and I'll, you know, actually grieve appropriately and stuff like that. However, it's like I'm not going to flip out. I'm not going to like rage and throw things and stuff like that. But interiorly, I am just a lot of thoughts, like, I don't know, just constantly. But being able to get into someone else's thoughts by actually dissolving. When you get to that real good moment in reading where you're gone and you're in there,
you're in it.
It only happens every once in a while. It doesn't happen every time you read. It's just like, but when you know you're in there and you just like, that's timeless, and you. I don't know. It's like
and you get to rest.
Yeah.
Your mind can rest and you can have a break, and you're like, I'm in this world and I trust this author so much that they're going to take you on this journey. So who are your authors? What kind of books are you really into? You must be really into great writers that take you on a journey.
Yeah. I mean, I really like people that will I like big, long books, stuff that you can, you know, actually live in for a long time, you know, and actually have that long form discourse that might take you 40 hours to read or something like that, you know.
Or for me, a year, because I have the one eye on one line and one eye on another. Maybe
sure.
on Audible. Okay.
I mean, like my favorite authors are like Thomas Pynchon, who does like these big scaling, you know, like historical, but he's, you know, very, very funny as well. And, you know, there's almost like a cosmology to their work. You know what I mean? Like, so.
No, I don't.
Some people are like, well, if I'm not religious, then how do, like, I don't even know where I heard this, but like, if I'm not religious, where can I find some sort of like schemata to live by, you know, like a cosmology to my world? And it's like, find one writer and read everything they've ever done. And then you have, you know, if they're good enough, you have a Bible of your own. You know what I mean? You have like
interesting.
Not to blaspheme or anything like that. I just mean like, sure, it can't replace like this holy, long-standing text written by, you know, many voices or something. But I don't know what I'm.
Well, I'm with you on this only because after the psychedelics and also just a long life of exploration with spiritual teachers of different forms that have come to me in different ways. I mean, I think we're all have the connection with the source. So you can write a Bible.
Right. Yeah,
you can write a Bible. You can write you can write a sacred piece of work. But so in the context, this guy's, I've been guessing is historical fiction.
He does hysterical fiction is kind of what people call it.
Really?
Right? So it's like,
say his name one more time.
It's Thomas Pynchon, you know.
Okay, and I don't know him. I mean, I'm not well read.
Fantastic. And then I recently got into this new writer called, not a new writer, he's just Romanian and recently translated, Mircea Cartarescu. He's incredible. I think Solenoid, which I read this year, is the best novel of this century so far, of the 2000s. And then I'll put these in the show notes.
Sure, yeah. So people can find them. I don't know. Send me a link to them, okay?
Yeah. If you guys like really fun, long-term, you know, projects like that.
And then while you're reading it, so does it help you also like now, like you've probably got a book going. So when your mind starts spinning, you can go to that story a little bit. Like it goes around with you as like, wonder what's, you know, like you're just kind of living in that reality. So you can still get that respite from the OCD thoughts. I'm going to call them
tether your thoughts to something.
Oh, tether your thoughts to something. Yeah, I like that.
And be like, hey, let me go over the, I don't know, some sort of sequence of events or some sort of a hierarchy of power dynamics or something like that within something.
I'm having some thoughts about stuff. I am starting to work with a spiritual mentor. Okay. Not a centaur, but that would be fun.
I'm a spiritual centaur.
So I've started having psychic things going on. And it's happening over and over and over with, like, I'm saying, like, I at some obscure hospital up in Pennsylvania, and I just come up with a name, like a first and a last name of a doctor. And this woman goes, that was the doctor, his whole name that connected me with my infant adopted daughter. Like he was the guy that birthed her.
You just came up with a name.
First and last name. And I have that on video. Like, I don't feel like I can make it happen. That's why I'm not going to go out and be the psychic. But I do feel like when I'm called to heal and help heal, and if people are open to healing, that's what I have to learn to ask. As what I've done all my life, which is a mistake, is tried to heal people that don't want to heal.
Sure, yeah,
like my mother. I'm just got an insight about these thoughts, and nothing wrong with going in and enjoying these other realities and celebrating this author who should be celebrated and having fun with these stories. But it would be so ideal if you could have a sense of empowerment over those thoughts in a way that you don't have to do that. You can do it if you want. Because I'm hearing you say that I'm wasting time. Like, I feel like there is something more creative that you could do with your time if you want.
Right.
And no shame around all of that. Like, that's beautiful too. But what I got was, I got that you need to start connecting with your muses. You have all these muses around you, and you have opened that portal, and they are downloading all the time. And you need to have a conversation with them in a way that's like, here's when I need to open that. Here's when it's time to do it. And here's when it's time I need a rest.
Right.
And
yeah.
I think that I think I would be happy to work with you in a way. We could come back next year, see how it's going.
Okay.
But I want to work with channeling with them and asking them what they need and how we can give you a rest so that you can have a sense of peace, a sense of calm, and just be in the moment and say, okay, right now I'm here with my girlfriend at the beach.
Right.
And truly enjoying being in that moment.
Sure.
And not getting distracted by it. Does that make sense? Or would that be something you'd be interested in?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, wonderfully willing to and open to having an idea of like rest. Like a lot of people will be like, what do you do to relax? For example, the books and stuff. But that's a very active reading experience. So it's not really necessarily even relaxing. Like my answer to what do I do to relax is like, I don't know. I'm too engaged in pretty much all the activities I do.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I was picturing too.
With the only time I'm just, vegging or something like that, if I'm like in a phone hole or something like that,
yep,
which is not a good replacement. But like when I'm watching TV, when I'm like watching a movie or when I'm watching, reading a book or something like that, it's very much too like locked in and doing too much mental work.
Yeah.
Doing it.
You're still not getting. You do?
Yeah.
How is that going?
I mean, I've meditated since I was 20, I don't know, early 20s.
Oh, cool.
And,
I didn't know that. So that's a great. So you are able to.
I've been to that kind of like no thought area with meditation. However, well, I'll fall in and out of it, and I'm actually at a period right now where it's like trying to like doing it maybe once every, I don't know, a week or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You've really got to do it every day to see like you've got to have a really consistent schedule to see the results from it. Even that, I think I more justify to myself that it's working than it actually is working in terms of like outside of that space. You know what I mean?
So you can get there,
right?
But it takes a little time, and you can do whatever your process is, and quiet your thoughts, watch them or however you do it, and then get to that like stillness. Wow, that's empowerment.
Yeah.
You already got that then, but it's just a matter of then after you close the meditation, it all starts up again.
I mean, I might have like a degree of reset or whatever. I don't know. Is the answer like more meditation? I don't know. Or just sleeping, but also my dreams are like really, really active and just like stressful too. I don't know.
Yeah, you've got stuff going on. You've got access, I feel, to all these higher free. And again, we could look at this as spiritual, or you can just look at it as quantum physics that we don't quite understand. All these frequencies that you're like you have this receptor to all this stuff. And I don't know. It just hit me. Like, I wonder if there's a way to get a little help. This is what I'm doing with my spiritual teacher right now, is asking for help of how to set some of these boundaries where I over empathize with people, and she's teaching me how to cut these cords afterwards. I mean, mainly I'm just learning tools of protection, but she doesn't even like the word protection. I think she calls it safeguarding, but where I have this gift and this curse of going into other people's stuff and their needs, and I want to be a helper healer. Like I feel like this, my soul came in this incarnation to be a helper healer. But then again, like it got all twisted with my mom trying to help. Like I dated several sociopaths and didn't go. I didn't win. I didn't win them over. I didn't heal them. Yeah. I just lost my.
You can't access the closed gate.
I could though. That was the problem. What I did realize is when I could go into their minds, and it was like a 3D printer in my brain, and I lost myself, is what I'm saying. And that
you were in an architecture that's so foreign to your own, you didn't know how to navigate.
Right. It just didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
Like you don't know how that kind of brain works.
I don't. And it's that thing where when somebody can't empathize, and I don't understand. Like I tried to teach my ex-boyfriend for 5 years how to empathize. I asked him once, what is it like to walk in someone else's shoes? And it was a completely foreign idea. And I'm like, how do you not? And then I'm like, how do you not? How do you not empathize with Michael sitting across from me, and I'm putting him on the spot right now, and I'm feeling a little like, am I asking too much of you? But then I was like, no, I don't think so. I feel like he can handle anything I would ever ask him. So I need to not worry about you.
Yeah, it's not. It's more. I mean, I'm curious because I mean, obviously, there's a degree of peace which could be achieved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In my life, you know what I mean?
And maintain that wonderful creativity. Like that's where, like we talked about medication earlier, and I kind of cut you off when you were in that journey. I don't remember. My own ADHD gets distracted, but the fact that you started off on some meds and then you figured out a cool way to titrate your own meds to like, here, I'm just going to use this little bit to get me through this one thing.
Sure, yeah.
And then you didn't like the idea of it, I don't think, of being dependent on it, or what was it?
Well, I guess I became like, so I started being medicated on many different types of medications, trying this, trying that, when I was like 14, 15 or so, like something like that. And then took that all through high school. I would get to the point where like I would, unless I ate like the exact right amount of food in the morning, that I would just start getting full body chills by like third period, right?
Like shaking?
Like, well, just like
cold?
Just cold, like cold kind of like sweat, and then feel like I'm going to like vomit, excuse myself, to the bathroom or whatever, and then recollect and just go back to school. And I was just like, well, I guess, I mean, if I'm listening to the doctors, you know, like this is fine. I probably raised the concern before or something like that. And then eventually I just got like fed up with it. And then I got to college, and maybe my priorities are misaligned by saying this, you know, but well, at the time, but I was, you know, an 18-year-old kid, is like, I would be taking the medication regularly. And then I would go out and I would drink, and then I would smoke, weed, and I started blacking out, not as in like a blackout of memory. My vision in dark tendrils were taking over blackness to the point where I'd be walking along the road and I'd be like, guys, I am going blind right now.
Wow. The combination of the
medication, alcohol, and weed. Weed.
And then you're something with your optic
like
nerve.
Tendrils, like, you know, like branches of darkness would just like all of a sudden, and I would go completely blind.
Wow.
And so I stopped taking the medication because obviously, what do you need to eliminate between alcohol
when
and
you're
weed?
in college? Like clearly I can't get rid of the alcohol and weed. I mean, that's not an option. Yeah.
And so I cut that out, you know, and then as a result of that, both the messing with my body and how I felt, and then that instance, and the other drugs that I was on that made me lethargic and weight gain and stuff like that. Then I had probably a bit too zealous of a like pharmaceutical companies are bad, and
treating the symptoms and making money,
of course. And obviously, I've come to a more of a rational middle ground there. You know what I mean? They're there to help. It's not a grand conspiracy, but that also aligned with me being more conspiracy minded when I was like in my late teens, early 20s, which is probably due to smoking too much and psychedelics and stuff like that, you know,
and the fact that there is a lot of corruption in our world. Course. I mean, we're lied to every single day.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, right.
I want to find magic in life and feel like I'm on a maybe a journey that is being led by some hand, or that will, when looking back on it, will be a, you know, big tapestry instead of just a bunch of chaotic balls, you know, bouncing around. I love
that. I love your poetic wording, looking back on your life like a tapestry. And, you know, as someone who is, how old are you?
I'm 31.
Yeah, so I'm 32 years older. Oh, wow.
I'm 32.
I'm 32. I don't know if you could tell by the neck. But I got to say, now that I was saying, you know, I'm on this downhill side, and I know I'm doing a lot of jokes about dying. I'm doing a lot of jokes about looking in the mirror and going, oh, I'm decomposing while alive, and cover myself with leaves instead of a comforter and stuff. But there is something where I'm able to see, and also I've done a lot of recovery work in the last 2 years where you do look at, especially with relationships, and I do see the patterns, even though it feels like chaos. But the odds of me attracting these people, I don't know how all this works. I don't understand. I don't know that it's magical thinking, but I do feel like there's synchronicities. I have had too many things to ignore at this point but hey, I'm not trying to force anybody to believe anything different. But what I'm hearing you say is that you're balancing all of it. Like you really are assimilating because you have so much knowledge. You have this capacity. Like, I mean, I can tell, like just how you're talking about all this reading that you do and all this knowledge that you have. So you have a bunch of left brain and a bunch of right brain. And I see a whole bunch of higher frequency around you too. I think integrating is the key, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And finding the balance that works for you, that doesn't feel overwhelming.
I like to create things, you know what I mean? Like, and also I like to make my own little kind of worlds, you know. I've made like many different, you know, working on a pilot right now that has like this grander world. I've had, you know, like made these audio cartoons in the past, which has its own like expanded world and stuff like that. So like when I am locked in and engaged to a thing, then I feel satisfied and productive. And I feel like, you know, like productive that I think that extends beyond just me, not just, you know, making checks, that I think people can enjoy. I mean, the number one thing that would make me happy in life right now is someone giving me a job as a writer, like, because then I can use all the things and still not be constantly in the mire of poverty right now. You know what I mean?
I feel that that's a reasonable ask,
right? Yeah.
Of the universe.
Yeah,
let's like, put it out there.
I will give you good.
Yeah,
I'm going to add substantial value to whatever the project
you will have 1,000 ideas.
Yeah,
it's like throw this out, okay, this, and then you not only are the idea guy, but then you can take the idea and you can make it into that 3D world. Mm-hmm. So tell me your dream job. Let's put it out to the loving universe right now, and if we can picture it, like see yourself. You've got this great, like, would it be a telecommuting thing? Are you going in? Do you like being in the room with the people, or do you want to do it from home? Who are like, and then what's the type of project? Is it an ongoing show that has a season arc? Do you want to do that? Like a kind of a series?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Like, either animated or live action, like ongoing fictional narrative. You know? Yeah. And I, from the small independent, like, you know, the things I've made have been as a result of working in small independent writing rooms with people. And that's, I mean, absolutely where I thrive in the world. You know what I mean? Is like,
so you like being in person?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So
being in person.
Yeah.
And then are you willing to relocate? Does it need, where do you want it to be?
Yes.
I'm willing to go relocate. Wherever that is. Mm-hmm. And okay, we're going to manifest this. And it's a project that is I love animation for you because then the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
But with CG, I mean, they can do anything.
For sure.
You don't even have to think practically about this. You can think just dreamy, ideal, like that somebody just like the right person, like, oh my God, I need to get this guy on this project today and pay them because they are worth it. You have value. You're going to bring value. And it's so fun.
Yes.
And it's fun.
It's fun. Exactly. Yeah.
And when people are celebrating and seeing, like when you create that reality and you get to point that many more eyes at the same reality, and it does become a 3D world.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, fun.
I mean, we're working on my sketch group that we used to run a live show with. You know, we're working on a pilot right now that we're on like rewrite number 8 or whatever. You know what I mean? Of just like, you know, really, really fine tuning this thing. And we're planning on, you know, grassroots, like ourselves making a proof of concept pilot in the spring and everything like that. But you know,
I love it. And that's what social media,
linking up with possibly a producer to maybe actualize that, but we're going to make it anyway. No matter what the funding that we end up getting, you know, we're going to make it anyway.
I love it. And I love the GoFundMe's now. We're not doing this for the money, but we need to eat. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. If you're anxious about food, it's hard to be creative. Right. That's all.
Yeah, for sure.
I was going to say, where could people see any of the, I know you told the Instagram, but where else can we see?
Sure, we got Instagram. I was talking about these audio cartoons that I do. That's called Meatloaf and the Milkman. Actually, you did the old, the live show. It's completely changed into these audio cartoons. And we have we have like movie long, or like, you know, some of them are 45 minutes, some of them are more like 30 minutes of like full long stories.
Really? I haven't seen it.
We call them audio cartoons because it's like everything about a cartoon except there's no visuals. Like, you know what I mean? So it's a narrative podcast, but it's filled with songs. It's filled with effects. It's theater of the mind.
Theater of the mind.
Yes.
Yes.
So we've been making those for years. You can find that on Apple Pods or Spotify.
And it's called Meatloaf and the Milkman.
That's called Meatloaf and the Milkman.
Oh, man, I haven't heard it. I'm going to check it out. In summary, as we wrap up our time together, and again, I'll probably edit out some of my spiritual healing stuff, but I really do feel...
I loved it.
I honestly have a feeling about this. I want to talk to you about it. Like okay. I'm practicing healing people who want to heal. It's really, you only heal yourself. But like, if I can connect you with the tools, the muses come in on your terms, and that you get to be present when you want to be present, if you want. I think a lot of us creative folks get scared, like, oh man, if I start controlling it, maybe I won't be able to access it. But I don't think that's true. I think we really can, like, take a break and go, okay, right now I need to clean the kitchen and peel an avocado or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Do people peel avocados? You really don't. You kind of scoop them out, don't you?
I think I've been doing it wrong. I just...
this whole time.
Just flaking it off.
All right. Here's what I gathered today. That your comedy predominantly is almost like an aside to reality. It is a form of reality, but it's more of an aside and a shiny light that, like, hey, let's go over here and play.
I think there's therapeutic qualities to doing it. I think that comedy has been tremendously, tremendously helpful to me in that I think I had a lot of thoughts even as a child, and this was a way to actually like getting my thoughts reflected back to me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
As like you know, a bit of not this cloying accept me, but this like, do you like this? And I've been so overwhelmingly blessed by the response that I've gotten.
I heard you, I see you, I celebrate you. And thank you. Like, really, thank you for, like, helping my spirit dance in a laughter way like that. Like,
good. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for, you're always so warm, and you're such a good foundational figure in Denver comedy and just in general whenever I'm talking to you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I feel like I'm not always that way with everybody. Just know that. Sure. There are people listening going, oh yeah. Anyway, but thanks for taking this time.
Hey, thank you.
And I'm just going to see you in a fun co-creative writing room, having a blast and just building something that people... like, you're giving other people like you the same respite that you get from your authors. Right. Like, you're paying it forward.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Thank you, Nancy.
Did you have a final thought? I always have trouble with closure.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we work on this inner peace thing that we were talking about, maybe we'll give you an update on it.
Okay, tune in next season. That's what I want to do. Some follow-up. Like, I think it'll be interesting. Like, where are they now? Like, when we hear about you writing on this amazing popular thing, and that's what I think social media can do too. If you, like, all it takes, I guess, is one thing that people just start, like, sharing and goes viral, and then it becomes a thing. Yeah. All right, we're seeing it happen. Thank you, Michael Isaacs.
Thank you, Nancy Norton.
See you next time. I want to thank my guest, Michael Isaacs _ on Instagram. Check him out. Go to his bio. Find all the other links to everything. I'm going to put links in the show notes and maybe a little bit about OCD and unwanted thoughts. Kids, find an outlet. That's all I can say. Keep expressing yourself, talking about it. See what other people are doing, what's helping them. Go to a spiritual healer. I don't know. I want to thank my son, Nathaniel Norton, who helps with my music here. And thank you, the listener, as always. Thanks for tuning in every Tuesday. It's Traumedy Tuesday, a new episode every Tuesday. Thank you so much for the support and letting me know what you need. How can we help? Remember, no matter what, keep laughing. Traumedy is a higher power production.